Hello. Hello, hello. All right. Let's see how TikTok is working today. Yesterday it was kind of wonky. So we'll see what today brings. Today being, and I'll probably repeat this when more people are on, but I'm just practicing. I'm practicing it myself. Today is Monday. Today is Monday, January 26th. I realized my lap blanket is on the floor over here, so I'll just be there. Pat and Amy and CGS and Trish, if I don't come back, let people know that I've fallen and I can't get up, right? There we go. There we go. I feel so much better. I'm a bit like Linus with my security blanket. I like having a blanket on my lap. And it's funny, actually, I was going to say, if you guys could see this, Shannon, nice to see you. Laura GV, nice to see you as well. I have been doing some decluttering this morning. See over here, I've got some trash, and I actually put my trash can up on the thing so you could see that I am doing some decluttering of some sentimental items. Yeah, some... What do I have here? I used to obviously save some matchbooks. And here's a funny thing. Back before cell phones were invented, when my husband and I were dating, you would use a prepaid phone card at either at home because you didn't have long distance. Does long distance even exist anymore? Anyhow. So, hey, Laura GV is saying, going to feed the birds and then hubs. I plan to declutter downstairs for a little bit. I told him we need to set a time or space-time goal. Yeah. What a great idea. And kind of making that clarity, starting with a more clear plan than perhaps beforehand. I love it. Very cool. Yeah, Shannon, did that either take you back or is it some old technology you've never even heard of? Man, it's crazy to realize how much has changed technologically. But here's the funny thing. Change, when it happens slowly and gradually, you kind of don't notice it until you're reminded of, oh, that's right. That's when we didn't have cell phones, Oh, that's right. That's when I had a roommate. That's when I had a landline. I feel like an old person. Back in my day, aka 1999, I mean, crazy. But, that's what, 26, 27, almost 30 years ago. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Even this right here, I'm putting down my teacup. And instead of a whole photo album, photos are on this. Now, can I access them? It remains to be seen. So, anyhow, good morning, everybody. Here we are. It's a Monday morning. I don't know about you, but I'll just offer this to you. We have a lot of snow on the ground here, and it doesn't feel like a Monday morning to me. I also, my one-on-one coaching schedule is a bit varied this week, so it feels almost like a half a day or kind of like a snow day. So I'm going to treat that as such. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Ooh, there we go. Annalisa, good morning. School was canceled for us in Texas. I love it. I don't care how old I am. I will always love that feeling of a snow day. The feeling of like the routine life being disrupted and anything could happen. You could have brownies for dinner, kind of like we did last night. Phone booths. I know, Cat Mama, huh? Good morning, that one persona. But even though it doesn't feel like a Monday to me, I said that I would be here on Monday, January 26th at 10 a.m. Eastern for a TikTok Live, and here I am, and here you are. Now, I'm the only one who needs to be here for the entire time. I'm going to be here for like an hour, 55 minutes or so, coffee and calm. Nice to see you. I'm doing pretty well. I will say this. I have done some sentimental decluttering, and I will just share with you kind of from further down the road, on the road to declutter, on the road to sobriety, on the road to whatever. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I am not getting rid of all of my stuff, but am I whittling it down? Am I saying, yes, can I afford to, am I going to be okay? Am I going to feel all right putting that greeting card from a friend of mine in the mail? That was just kind of a one-off because we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have texting. We didn't have email. So we have a lot of paper, sentimental paper that tells us a story. Now, sometimes the story's worth keeping. I treasure the things that I can see my great aunt and my aunt's handwriting, both of them who are no longer here. So I keep those. The ones that was just kind of a, oh, hey, it was great to see you, talk to you later type thing that would almost be a very casual text or email now. I don't necessarily feel like I necessarily need to keep it. I could if I wanted to. Interesting. Yeah. That one persona says, didn't receive a notification yesterday or today. I will share with you that one persona with regards to TikTok. TikTok, don't forget, last week got a new owner and things are wonky on my end too. Okay. So I'm glad that we had the schedule. I'm glad that you set a timer and made things happen. And I love it because, yesterday I will share, and I think of this, Leslie, good morning to you as well. Happy to report I completed my list from yesterday, and recommend is my hydration word. I recommend that I take a sip of water that you reminded me of hydration. So good. So one thing I will offer to you, and this was one of the things, because I remember, Leslie, yesterday, you mentioned that you wanted to rewatch yesterday's TikTok Live. I'm just going to double check here. On the YouTube channel. And there we go. Okay. It literally took me, not me, but it took almost 3 hours to download yesterday's TikTok Live so that I could upload it to YouTube. It has never taken that long before. Also yesterday, when I did a pop-up TikTok Live, now I know that a lot of people don't know when I do pop-ups, but there were maybe 18 people at one point, a whole bunch of names I didn't recommend, did not recognize. And then it shot to like 500. So there's wonky stuff. There's wonky stuff going on. So just notice it. Notice that there's a bumpy transition into who knows what it's going to turn into. That's why we have the YouTube channel and the email group in case TikTok goes wonky. Okay. Nat, good morning. Judy, good morning. Going to straighten up surfaces in my bedroom while listening to you. I love that, Judy. But with the power of writing things down, I wrote down yesterday when we were on the YouTube Live or the TikTok Live, Judy CC ? Okay? And so, Judy, I am curious. Did you check your online credit card statements and is everything okay? If you did, just let me know. And if you didn't, go do it now and then let me know you did it. And you'll feel better once you do it. Now, I'm sharing this because some of you don't know. One of the things we were talking about in some of the lives here, because I know a lot of people can be stressed out about paper clutter and fear of opening your mail for fear of being faced with the evidence that I spent a lot of money on my credit card type of thing. And one of the things that happened this weekend, I don't mind doing that. I actually do, even as a decluttering person who's throwing away and recycling paper on the daily. I like getting my credit card statements in the mail, as well as being able to look at them online. And one of the things I discovered when I was going through my credit card statements this weekend was there was a fraudulent charge of $330 on it. That the only reason I found out about that was because I opened the envelope. I didn't just look at the grand total, but I chunked it down and I just went through very superficially being like, yep, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. Wait a minute, what is this thing? I totally was fraudulated. Completely, that one persona. We were using that word a lot. And as you said, I think you said you were recorded live from yesterday, so you heard me talk about fraudulation. We were cracking ourselves up, But anyhow, so I encourage you, everybody this morning, do this. This could be like your thing that you're going to feel so much better within minutes having looked through your credit card statements, just to make sure they're just things that you made the purchases and not somebody else. Okay. Yeah. So, yay, Nat. Back up, Chloe Nat Ray. Oh my God. TikTok, keep bugging me. I had a very successful decluttering this weekend. I did the guest room and under the stairs storage, and I was binge listening to your YouTubes while doing it. Awesome. I am so glad that as of right now, 967 videos on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel are being put to good use. So yay, I don't know why I just said that. Yay for you for successful. Yay for you for hopefully those YouTubes made it easier for you to declutter. And yay for guest room and under the stairs storage. Speaking of under the stairs storage, I am elated to report from my own personal decluttering that almost like a game of Tetris, all of our Christmas decor fits wonderfully underneath the stairs where I hoped it would. I was cautiously optimistic that it was going to fit there, but yesterday I went down there and I just started putting things away, and I noticed that it fits really well, because part of me was thinking, well, if it doesn't fit, what could go where? And I'm happy to report that my Christmas stuff is away until next year. I feel good about the quantity of it. I feel good about the quality of it. I feel good about where it is stored and how it is stored. And now, seriously, I don't want to think about it until like late November of this year. So I am also getting good stuff done too. The neat thing is, here's a fun thing too, with decluttering of your sentimental objects. Sometimes you save things to tell stories and share stories. So before I put this one in the trash, I was saying how I am decluttering some of my sentimental things, because I have saved an overabundance at this point of kind of evidence of my past lives. Okay, this one right here, as I was showing somebody, is a prepaid phone card that when my husband and I were dating and I lived in Massachusetts and he lived at the beach in Delaware, we used to use these so we could call each other on the phone because there were no cell phones. Now that I have shared this with you, and I'm not about to put it in the Museum of Outdated Technology, I'm going to put it one place better. The trash can. The trash can. Okay. Alrighty. So Judy says, and Judy, I love this. The first two were good. I'm going to go back to paper statements on the ones I use most. Great. How about the other two? Just go through them all. Seriously? Seriously. It won't take as long as you think. And then you will have a timestamp of the last time you looked at those things. And yes. So yay, Judy. Okay. Good stuff. So, how can I help you today? What do you got going on? What would you like to have going on today? Remember yesterday, Leslie? Crap, I forgot your notice, was it? I'm gonna look at your there we go. Recommend. I recommend the following. I recommend checking in with your physical body. How are you feeling physically today? You're going to feel a bit different every day of your life. You're going to feel different, and throughout the day you're going to feel different. It's always going to be a little bit of up and down. I'm feeling good in many ways, but my nose is wicked stuffy and I'm sneezing a lot. I don't know why, but I'm doing something about it. How are you feeling nervous system wise? Are you all up here? Are you flatlining? Or are you kind of floating around in the middle here, kind of like buoyantly, hey, feeling pretty good. Feeling 7-up, I'm feeling 7-up. Okay. Notice how you feel. I recommend that you make sure you feel okay nervous system wise. Calm down, slow down, breathe down, drink down. Get yourself out of fight or flight, and even just into neutral will be a better place to start. Okay? The third one is going to be, I recommend writing stuff down. Remember, Leslie, yesterday when you were like, I don't know what to do, I have this entire day. As soon as you put a pen in your hand and you have something to write on, you're on the road to good stuff. And then chunking down whatever you write. Okay? So, that's what I recommend. Okay? Now, there we go. It's snow day and I feel so overwhelmed in being in my house for a couple of days. Yeah, I get it. So how about this? Hi. Go out of your house right now. I don't care if you're in your pajamas. This is the great thing. I remember back in the day, like living in Boston, being like, I don't really need any fancy going out clothes when I go to clubs to like watch bands and stuff, because I'm going to be in a big old coat. And, so throw a big coat over your pajamas, put on some shoes, go outside and get some fresh air in your lungs. I know you can feel a bit of cabin fever, so go out there and get some new air in your lungs, kind of wake yourself up in the snow, maybe rub some snow on your face for all I know. Feel better. And then the other thing too is when I was talking about those 4 steps, the physical, the nervous system, the writing down, the chunking down, overwhelm is step number 2, okay? Overwhelm is I'm feeling all up here, ugh. So we're going to calm down and chunk down, okay? I can help you with that. Jelly Bee, this is really fun. I have a box of old cassette tapes with my music from the 80s, reluctant to toss. I'd love to help that with you, okay? Because I just found a couple of cassette tapes myself. So Jelly Bee, I'm really good at this. The couple of things I want to mention with regards to different versions of the same thing. Sometimes records, CDs, cassettes, who knows? At this point, it's probably like a Spotify playlist. You may not be, are you saving them, Jelly Bee? This is what I would recommend. In that box, just look at them and say, am I saving this for sentimental reasons, or am I saving this because of the song on it? Is it like a mass-produced cassette that has like, Bon Jovi Rocks on it? Or is it like a mixtape that I made for somebody? Notice the difference between something that is just, but I remember buying this Bon Jovi, and I was not a Bon Jovi fan, but we were just talking about Bon Jovi in my house. And why am I saving this? Jelly Bee. And don't ask it. Every cassette may have a different story, but you're going to notice some trends, okay? You're reluctant to toss, but part of you wants to. Because you're not like, hell's a poppin', oh my God, for sure I'm keeping this thing, okay? Same thing, Anne. I love this. You just popped out of my way. I was trying to read it. Ooh. Okay. I might move some old photos today since we're mostly snowed in. Yeah, that's why I am doing a lot of interior, both in my house and also kind of going within and telling myself these stories, seeing these, the letters, that my aunt sent me, noticing something that has my dad's handwriting on it. Reminding myself of when I went to the Hotel Edison on South Beach. Oh, I think that was for part of our honeymoon. Okay. So yeah, it can be a great time and a great season to do all this interior work, because then also when you do this, when you're kind of in hibernation mode, then when the weather gets nice and you want to be outside, you won't feel the pull of, oh no, I should be hanging out and cleaning out the garage or the basement or my clutter when it starts to get springy out. Okay? Okay, teacher, I love this. I researched all the meds and vitamins I take, and I made a schedule for the best time to take them. That's great. I'm lucky if I take mine at all, but the fact that you're timing them, rock on. Alrighty. Yes, and Nat, I want to really address this. I think this is very important. To be honest, with everything going on here, I've been anxious and sad. So have I. So have I. And I bet a lot of us have been. Using decluttering for self-care. 100%, and I would love to elaborate on that. It can feel very overwhelming and frustrating, and a lot of feelings come up when something is going the way you don't want it to, but there's only so much you can do. So to correct what's going on. Like, I'm not in Minneapolis right now, though my heart is with everybody there and everybody in the world whose hearts are there as well. Anybody whose heart is not there can F the right off, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? But what I will say is this, is decluttering is a great opportunity for you to remind yourself of what you do have control over. Now, there's a difference between hiding your head in the sand and ignoring things, but also saying, I need to get some distance from what's going on because it's not going to be good for my physical and mental health. That all this cortisol and angst and overwhelm is not healthy for me, and I will not be a good kind of fighter for the, fighting the good fight if I am filled with all these chemicals that my body is generating because it is in a fight or flight mode, but it's not fighting or fleeing. Okay? So I remind you, decluttering is something, and especially your own stuff. I am going through my sentimental stuff, not my husband's, not the family tree. I'm focusing on mine first because that's the stuff I know. I don't have to ask anybody else but me, do I want this or not? And that will remind you that you have agency, that you have control, that you can do something to change what you don't like. So Nat, I think it's a great idea, and I highly encourage everybody to use this time to yes, do something to help the external world move incrementally or greatly in the direction that you want it to, and do the same thing for yourself. Okay? Now, Leslie says, I made my exercise goal yesterday. Yay! 30 minutes walking in the snow in my backyard, and she said it was heavenly. My goal is to literally even just get out of my pajamas and into some snow boots and tromp around a bit today outside myself. Yeah. Yep. And I love it because Anne is also saying, yes, I hope it helps. I nervous clean, and it seems to help. And notice nerves. I get kind of like, I'm feeling nervous. Things are not stable. Cleaning and reminding yourself, having a clear surface, controlling things, even moving your body. Notice my hand is going wax on, wax off type of thing. Moving your body as opposed to being just frozen will calm down your nervous system as well. Okay? Yay, it helps you calm down. There we go. I love it. And Judy says, yesterday I was lazy and sat in my chair all day. Today I made myself get up when live started. Love it. So Tilly Winks, I saw your comment about your mom's things. I'm about to sneeze, but I will get to that. And excuse me. I'll be right back. Excuse me. I believe I just farted on live TV. Anyhow. Human body, what can you do? Okay, so Jelly Bee, cassette. Okay, let me ask you this. So if they are mixtapes I made with art and notes on them, I literally found 2 of those. I was looking around right here. I moved them to one of the shelves over there, and I'm too lazy to get up to see it. Jelly Bee, I ask you this. Couple of things. One is, how much space did they take up? How big is the box? Could you just keep them for souvenirs right now? That's what I've done with some of mine. It's okay to keep those things. It's okay also to maybe just, if you don't think you're going to listen to the tape itself, notice you can chunk these things down. You can keep what they would call the J cards. Remember on the inside? You could keep just the cards and then take a look at the playlist that you made and say, can I listen to these songs somewhere else on newly developed, digital stuff that I don't need the tape. Notice, again, that's part of chunking things down. You could go through, and it could be fun for you to make a list, recreate those playlists, those tapes. I sent a mixtape to my sister in 94, 95, when she was living in Spain. And somehow in these decades that have passed, it got lost. It's very unlikely, but it may be in this house because she may have asked Cliff to digitize it. However, she has been saying, "Oh, I remember that song was on that playlist," and she's kind of reconstructing it. So that could be a fun thing. All right. So just a couple of ideas for that. Yes. So Nat, take care of yourself. And Hi is saying my library has a cassette converter. Oh, I think mine does too. So check your library if you just want to, do the thing. Okay? Now, yesterday Judy said she was lazy and sat in my chair all day. No, you know what that is? That is not lazy. That is you. Please, let's undo, or let's own lazy and wear it as a badge of pride. Because lazy is also your body telling you really quietly, we don't have a lot of energy. Let's conserve the energy we do and make some more. Okay? Now, I want to address this because where was it? There we go. Mom has boxes of papers. I just want to burn them. But what's the best way to go through it? Well, Tillywinks, what I would get really curious about, and Beth, Destination Declutter, Decluttering Life Coach, also has a mom with a ton of papers. I also wanted to just, set a match to all of it. But one of the things I was afraid of was if I did that there may be something good in with what I think is kind of not good stuff. And knowing that my mom, like I have literally, her stuff is not organized, and I have come across in the midst of random, Sunday paper coupons, found like a historic photo from my dad's side of the family in amongst the stuff, as we would say in my family, some wheat in with the chaff. I don't know if anybody's a farmer here, but that's a thing, right? So what's the best way to go through it? I would say the best way to do anything is a way that makes your nervous system feel safe and good, so that you feel okay in what you're doing and the result you're getting. Now, I know that sounds really abstract, but abstract. But I offer to you, and I recommend, Leslie, that you say to yourself, what do I hope, if I go through Mom's papers, what am I hoping to find? Am I hoping to, something important that I want to go through? So look for, what's your idea of something important? Is it sentimental? Am I looking for checks? Do I just want to see what it is? And then when you have that thing to look for, notice it's going to be like sorting coins. I'm only looking for quarters. So then your brain looks only for that size and shape. Okay? Use the pattern matching part of your brain to help you with it. Okay? I hope that helps. Okay? Yeah, I hope that helps. And if not, and please ask me follow-up questions. It's not just like, yeah, you're done. Please ask me if I missed the mark or you want to ask more, please feel free. Kat Roby, hey, I was just thinking about you. Okay? Kat Roby says, hey, yo, SBB, she calls them, scheduled Beth blinders, because I do these TikTok lives and YouTube lives almost every day. This week I've got everything, Monday through Friday, there's something. Number 1, clear the kitchen counters. Notice that's surface level clutter, rock on. Number 2, start laundry. That's also kind of a surface level stored thing. 3 boxes. 4, clear the dining table. Okay? So notice when I was talking about, we've got check in with your physical body, nervous system, writing down, chunking down. That's to get you started. But when you're looking at your clutter, chunking it down into categories really helps as well. It's not all one big mess. Clutter can be divided in my life, I have found in my coaching, into 3 layers: surface, stored, sentimental. Within those, there's also other layers, but start with those. I always recommend starting with surface level clutter because it's the easiest one. It doesn't involve a lot of thinking. It usually just involves putting stuff back where it belongs or putting things where they belong. And clearing off surfaces, because when you have a clear surface, then you can spread things out. Today, my husband has actually promised he's going to go through one of the closets in his studio, and immediately the first thing he said was, I'm going to bring up a folding table from the basement so I can bring those things out and see what I have, but then also categorize them. Okay? Even me going in my sentimental stuff right here. I had a box that said, and this was crazy because I wrote this note to myself on 11/17, cards and letters to finish. Well, it's 2+ months later, and I got back to it. But within that, there were greeting cards, there were postcards, and then there were letters. Now, postcards and letters tend to have a lot more information on them, so I started with the easiest one of those 3, which is greeting cards, which was very kind of, superficial, fewer words on them to read. And I was able to save some good ones, but also recycle some. All right? So I suggest to you that you start with a surface. My surface is now temporarily cluttered because I'm using it as an active work zone. It's, it's a sorting table. Will it stay this way? No, because I'm going to continue to sort. And when I'm feeling done, of which I will be highly aware of, I will notice when I'm starting to like lose my energy and focus and things don't feel as easy as they did. And I will start to slow down and say, okay, how can I wrap this up today? And that's what I did last night. I worked on some of these boxes yesterday and I tidied them up and put them away. And then when I got some more energy this morning, I woke up and opened one up and I said, well, at least I know I can do one thing. I'll do that one box. Okay? This is now getting it so that I have even one more box that is going to be empty. I did 2 boxes yesterday. Okay? So I'm hoping that helps. Okay? Who else has a question about clutter that I can help you with? Okay? There we go. Right. Cat Roby, pre-step. Oh, I forgot. I need to empty the dishwasher because the dishwasher also is a surface to fill again with the items on the counters. Yeah, notice where that's how, oh, no wonder there's stuff on the counter because it's supposed to go in the dishwasher, but the dishwasher's full of clean dishes. Ergo, I must empty and put away the clean ones. Okay? That's usually my job. I did a lot of that stuff this weekend myself. I emptied the dishwasher and now we started to fill it again. I did some laundry and then I put mine away. My husband still needs to put his away, but now there's still dirty clothes are accumulating once again in a hamper. Okay. So, this is some of these things are cyclical. Others are one and done, or one and done. Like I've gone through this box of memorabilia now. I may not go through it for another year, 2, 5, 10. Some of these things I haven't seen in 30 or 40 years. It's okay though. I'm feeling good about what I'm doing. All right. So what else do I recommend? If I was helping Leslie, excuse me, I recommend, okay, Lana says, I need to go through the kitchen again. Yes, and notice when my hand goes like that, it's kind of like you did one pass. Like, it's kind of like I'm going to tidy up this one room and I do one go round, right? And then it looks better than it did. It feels better than it did. But then you may feel like I want to go through it again. There's nothing wrong with that, Lana. I love that. If you need any help with it, shoot me some specifics in the comments and I'm happy to help. Helena is saying, I just did my junk drawer and it felt good. Yeah, see, this is why I am grooving on doing some of this decluttering because I have stuff that I'm putting in the trash. I have stuff that I am doubling down on. Yes, right now I still want to save this. I have a box for, we have a pile of stuff that's going to a donation place. That's general. We have a pile. I have a bag of stuff to go to the vintage place. I have a bag of stuff that's going to my sister. I have a pile of books that I'm going to get in touch with a friend of mine who's an artist in case he wants them. Okay. So that one persona, okay, dishes extra, but not really. Okay. Yeah. I've tried different ways by type, by room, etc. And nothing seems to fit. Okay. That one persona, give me some more details. We work better with details. So what category are you talking about? And it will vary. The neat thing is about categorizing, you can change it at any time. As I said, like this was a box that I just called letters, sentimental clutter. And then I got letters or whatever, cards. And then within it, I chunked it down to, as I said, greeting cards, postcards, letters in envelopes. So I can chunk those down and make smaller piles. Another thing I realized too, when I was very unconscious about being more kind of mindful about the categories, some of the things that I found in the cards that I had was the category of cards between myself and my husband when we were first courting and dating, but also it could be cards from the family, cards from friends. I even have a couple of like, happy birthday, Beth, those greeting cards that people in your office send you with everybody wrote a little something. I found a number of those from like a couple of stores that I worked at and when I worked at Newbury Comics. And some of them I let go of because when I looked at those names, I couldn't picture the people. But some of them I was like, I remember that person who worked in the, now what's the name of it? Oh my God, live on camera blank. The warehouse. Yeah. So there we go. So here's what I want to help you with is notice that the lack of the overwhelm is caused from things being confused and cluttered. So let's even just pull out one category and I can help you with that. And just remind yourself that it's not going to be rigid. You can change it up at any time, you know? All right. So Gumby Girl says overflowing with my things and my parents' things. Notice 2 categories, my things, my parents' things. Serious lack of storage. Any suggestions? Yes. Okay, mine is going to be to declutter. It's going to see, never mind storage. Storage comes later in the process. Storage comes after you've decided what you want to keep. Okay? So Gumby Girl, I would start with even dividing up that stuff. Noticing what is your parents' things. Notice what's your things. And then between those two, what are some kind of big things you can easily let go of? Start with the easy stuff in both camps, but start with one of those. Okay, start with the easy stuff. Okay, so that one persona says decor. Okay, so notice that decor is a good one. Signs, figurines, greenery of varying sizes. Okay, so how about signs? Okay, so that one persona. Notice that's one category, signs. Now, I don't know what your version of signs are. I have collected literally signs from restaurants. I also have things that say not live, laugh, love, but like trust your crazy ideas, go confidently. I have a lot of those. Some of them I like and I keep on a shelf. Others I have let go of. How many signs do you have, that one persona? I'm just curious. Attaching a number to something can often change our relationship with it. It can take some of the overwhelm out. Okay. Oops. Got a whole bunch of new people here. There we go. Jessie says, I'm going to be productive today and make sell posts. Okay. I assume you mean like kind of posting some things to sell online. Jessie, how many things are you going to feel good if you post some things to sell today? What's a number what's the smallest number that's going to make you feel good if you do that? Let's talk about numbers. Numbers can be very helpful when you're decluttering. Okay? So what is a number of things? How many posts will it take for you to feel good about what you did? Okay? Think about that and write it down if you like. Yeah, signs everywhere. Signs, exactly. Yep. So in case you're new here, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. You can follow me here on TikTok. But I only do a TikTok. I do a TikTok live once a day, usually Monday through Friday, different times of the day, different days of the week. There's a schedule to it, and there's a schedule to those as well as my YouTube lives. My YouTube lives and TikTok lives are scheduled, but the schedule is only available behind a free curtain that the trolls can't get through, which is called the Destination Decluttered email group. You go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, and you give me your email address, and in exchange for that, I send you a link to where the schedule is always updated. So you know when you can show up and see me live. But if you miss that, no big deal. You go to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, and after today, there's going to be 969 videos on there. We're getting up to 1,000. That's going to be kind of fun, huh? There we go. Okay, so Jessie says, I'd be happy to get rid of a few things, actually. Better than nothing. Okay, I have tons of boxes and bags to get rid of, blocking my progress. But notice, Jessie, this is really interesting, and I'm not calling you out, except that you're a human, and just get curious about this. Notice what happened. I asked you for a number, and you used vague terms like a few and a ton. So I just say, hey, notice, I asked for a number. What is a number? What would be the number? What's the minimum number that would be a few things to get better? One could be it. I will be happy if I post one thing. I have 2 things that I feel like I need to post on eBay. I will share with you that is going to be my bane of existence. I am making so much more of a big deal of this, and I just need to get those things sold and out of my life. Maybe I'll do it by the end of this week. We'll see. I will even write that down. eBay, ? It would be so great. 2 things. Notice, I would feel awesome if I could sell the 2 things that I want to sell on eBay for money. Okay? But notice, your backseat driver does not want to give you a number, because then you have something specific to aim for. And notice, I'm not saying way up here, do 100. I'm saying you can even say, if I post 1 item, I'll be psyched. 2 items. But notice the words we use can give us different feelings. But I have a ton of bags and boxes. Is it really a ton? Is it really a ton? A ton is 907.18474 kilograms. A ton is how many pounds? 2,000 pounds. Okay? Alrighty. So that, notice, Jesse, your bags and boxes, if they are 2,000 pounds worth, I want to know about that, okay? Notice that our brains like to be kind of drama queens. I've got a ton. Is it really 2,000 pounds worth? I don't think so. Okay? Bust, break, you know what I mean? Poke fun at your backseat driver when they're being all dramatic. Okay, that one persona says light up canvas, Hobby Lobby-esque type. Most are smaller than 8 by 10, but with some larger. Okay. There we go. 1 bag or box is gone is progress. Excellent. So Jesse, aim for 1 and that can help you get started. Aim for 2 and then say the next one, aim for 1 again. Does that still feel good? If you're always aiming for 1 and then you do it and then you aim for another one, you'll make progress. Good stuff. Okay. So, Bonnie Esther, nice to see you. That one persona, I'm going to ask you what I asked Jesse. Notice you're telling me all about these things, but I would get curious. Put on a different cap on your brain. And what is the number of signs that you have in your home that you're saying, I don't feel good about the quantity of just the signs? How many signs do you have? It can be very helpful to even just notice that. Okay? Notice what we're doing. We're chunking down, we're categorizing, and then going from there. Okay? So, there we go. All right, now it looks like we've got a bunch of new people here. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered here on TikTok, YouTube, and destinationdecluttered.com. Okay? Folks who need help with clutter, put how I can help you, what you want help with clutter-wise, in the comments. And what else can I tell you? Okay. Yay, there we go. Clavicito is saying, I have made very slow but steady. That's the best way to do things. Slow and steady wins the race. Progress since listening to your lives before Christmas. Thank you. You're welcome. Moni Love 42. Do you have any tips for decluttering with ADHD? Every single tip I give for decluttering is tips for decluttering with ADHD. You are in good hands, people, because I can't think any other way. But I know how the ADHD works because I have one. I'm surrounded by it. So I factor that into everything that I offer. And a lot of it is kind of calming down the overwhelm and the distractedness, helping you practice some focus for short bits so you build your focus on things, but then also doing things to make things fun so you get that dopamine. All right? Hey, there we go. Laura GV says, just decluttered a foot of snow off the solar panels. Whew! Yay! Nat says, I'm starting to prepare for relatives who are visiting the end of next week, just taking it, and notice, room by room, chunking it down. I took a note out of my own, coaching notebook the other day, and I did what I've suggested to you, is wrote down. I walked from room to room. Say, what do I need to do here? I will probably do it again today. And every time I do it, and then I do something in that room, the list gets smaller. There we go. And Jesse, how great for you to just notice that when Moni posted about the ADHD, which was your tips and tricks, recent ADHD have moved mountains for me in a year. And the wonderful thing is, Jesse, I always want to give credit where credit is due. I haven't moved a mountain. You have. You have. This is the thing I actually totally love and know it was the right decision for me to be only an online virtual decluttering coach. When I am in the physical space with somebody, there's a likelihood that I may just try to take over, and that isn't helpful for me or for you. But when there is this gap, when I am not in your house, I give you the thoughts and the feelings and the structure and the way of thinking and feeling about things. And then you, my dears, you are the ones who do something with that. So you have moved mountains. Okay? I love it. Yay. Good stuff. Yay, Laura GV, feeding with the birdies, and then discussed today's specific destination with the hubs. I did the same thing. I actually walked around and noticed a couple of things I would like him to do. So I wrote down a list because I don't want to do them and he will. Yep. And yay. And yeah, those ADHD tips have helped me as well. So just so everybody knows, yeah, I don't know if you know this about me or you could notice it. I am so not neurotypical. To me, that is boring. And even the fact that I sang that like my mother indicates that I get bored with boredom. So I do anything I can to add a little levity and life and fun to stuff for myself. And there we go. Now, here's a funny thing. I just happened to glance up. Yeah, TikTok is acting wonky today. All right. So it is going from 0 people to 114. Who the F knows? If you're still here, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. I will be here for another 14 minutes here on TikTok. And then here's what's going to happen, okay? Here's what's going to happen so you can plan. Okay, Lori Shaw, thank you for letting me know that all of a sudden everybody didn't just run out of the room, right? We are still here. Okay, cool. So again, notice that technology can be wonky, but let's use it while we have it. I rarely look at the number of people that we have, but I just happened to glance up there. So I will be here for another 14 minutes. Then I'm chunking it down. Sometimes I do a TikTok live right into a YouTube live. And then I realized if I do that often, that's like a big chunk of time. So I'm trying to separate those chunks so that we all can go do something for another hour and then come back and check in with each other. So like my TikTok live is from 10 to 11. It's almost 11 now. Between 11 and 12, I'm going to go do some stuff. I am going to commit to going outside, and I'm writing it down. Writing it down increases the likelihood that it will happen. Going outside. I don't know. I'll probably think of something else. But yes, and there are glitches all over the place. Sue, nice to see you. The neat thing is, while TikTok is so unstable right now, this is why we also meet on YouTube. We do a live on YouTube just like this, only different, because actually this is funny. You often will see on YouTube, you will see me on a, what is this? Horizontal? Yeah, horizontally like that versus just this vertical. Okay? Yeah. Honestly, I still need to categorize. Just thought I'd ask. Try to plan ahead while decluttering. That one persona, perfect. What I would say is this. What you wrote in the comments, write those down for yourself. Signs, decor, greenery, and just check one of those chunks at a time, okay? And if you find yourself, yes, thank you, landscape versus portrait, and that one persona, if you find yourself resisting doing these things, that's when you might want to sit down with your backseat driver and be like, dude, what's the deal? Why are you telling me to not write down what Beth says? Why are you telling me to not do that? And then listen for the answer. Listen for the answer. You know, as I like to say on my mug, I just realized. Slow down, breathe down, write down, chunk down. Pretty good. And also, excuse me, I got a little smudge there. Every little bit helps, okay? Now, I'm not selling the mugs, people. You all have too many mugs, I know it, because I do too. Here's a fun thing an interesting fact I would love for you to think of. We use 20% of our stuff 80% of the time. We wear 20% of our clothes. We wear the same clothes over and over again. We eat the same foods over and over again. We watch the same TV shows, listen to the same music, hang out with the same people. We are creatures of habit. Okay? See, yeah, Angel, that's exactly why I thought I might, I'll get some mugs. Then I was like, why would I, as a decluttering life coach, want to increase somebody else's clutter? So yeah, you have enough mugs as it is. Yeah. So think about that today. Think about how you have a certain kind of subset of your clothes. You have all your clothes, and then there's like a 20% that you just keep on wearing and laundering and wearing and laundering and wearing and laundering. Same thing with the food in your cupboards. Same thing, you're going to notice a pattern. You know, we have too many mugs in my family, in our house, I think, but I use the same 4 over and over again, and I wash them. The other ones are the ones my husband likes, but it's not my house, it's our house, so we have just enough, and we can't have any more. I've said that they just need to fit on that one shelf. And here's a funny thing. I think you guys might get a giggle out of this one. Yesterday, or even just this weekend, where we've been in the house and I've been feeling better with the exception of my nose, because I was sick last week, my husband looked at me and he's like, "Ooh, you're feeling better because you're starting to like be sharp as a tack." Yeah. There we go. Jessie says, "I started using my mugs for propagation of plants and decorating." I love that. I use one of mine. I use this one as my little, thing with my highlighter on it. So I have highlighters handy for when I want to fill out my habit tracker. Okay? I'm not a plant person. And here's the thing. I'm not a plant person. We gave away our last plant, which was a tree, to a wonderful plant woman. And then we still have a watering can. Now, we don't have any plants right now, but I think it's a damn cute watering can. It's shaped like a little pink elephant. So we are not going to have it in regular rotation because we don't have anything to water, but we're putting it out in the garage because we may have something to water in the future. Okay? There we go. I love it. Angel's making a plan from 11 to 12. I'm going to do a thread up bag from 11 to 12. I'm going through my drawers. There, let it be written, let it be done. Yeah, and writing it in the comments is a great start, but also please, people, I will not always be here to have a comment section for you to write it on. Please get in the habit of writing these things down for yourself on paper in your own home. Getting your body involved, your hand involved. Okie Teacher is saying we can do lunch together. Yeah, lunch, question mark? Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that because I'm thinking, what did I even have for breakfast? And you know what I had for breakfast? I had leftover snow day brownies and tea. So you're right, Okie Teacher. I should probably eat something quasi-healthy for lunch. Now, the good news is you guys can eat your lunch and you don't have to worry about talking or being on camera or, God forbid, like I eat something for lunch and then I end on camera and then I'm like choking or something, or I inhale something the wrong way. But I will say, eat a healthy lunch. Notice that goes back to step 1, which is, hey, I'm suddenly filled with sugar and fat and caffeine. Nothing wrong with any of that. But let me get something healthy into my body so I don't crash later today. All right? So good idea, Okie Teacher. Yeah, so in a little time over an hour, we'll be on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. If you want to join in, you can easily go over to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. It's YouTube, Destination Decluttered, should be easy to find. But if you also want to know when the schedule is for all of these lives and many of the, the declutter parties that are going to go on in February, and not to freak you out, but I will. Next Sunday is February 1st. So we are already almost 1/12 done of this year. Okay? So if that gives you like a, oh my God, what the hell kind of feeling and you want to get some decluttering done, I have you covered because there will be quite a few decluttering parties offered in February simply because I wasn't able to offer a lot in January. And also March is looking iffy too. Okay? So I'm just giving you a heads up. Yeah. There we go. Lisa says, I'm getting rid of a bunch of clothes today and packing for a trip for Israel. Wonderful. Therapy Gal says, writing down, declutter pantry and fridge next YouTube live. McDuds is saying, healthy lunch sounds great. Yeah, write that down too. The other thing too is, and this happened to me this morning because I woke up early and I've been puttering and decluttering. And my clock seemed to go very slow between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So I was puttering and doing some things, and it still wasn't 10, and it still wasn't 10. And then I glanced up, and it was like 9:58. Okay? So I will offer to you, I will recommend to you, if Leslie's still here, I will recommend that you set a timer when I sign off, okay? Because a timer is a useful tool in your decluttering and in other areas of your life too. Right now, actually, how's about this? It's 10:55 a.m. I tend to use the timer that's on my phone right here to set a timer. Set a timer for 11:55 a.m. or the time zone equivalent, so that 5 minutes before the top of the hour, you get reminded, oh, that's right, that my alarm is going off to remind me that there is a Destination Decluttered YouTube and in 5 minutes. That will give you an opportunity to just check where you are and to prep. And I'm going to do the same thing because I was leaving it to my head and I almost was late to this YouTube live, okay? Or TikTok rather. Using a timer to remind you of things that are time sensitive can be very beneficial, okay? And things that can be time sensitive too are also setting a timer to say, okay, we're going to do this only for a certain amount of time and then we're going to stop, so that, like, if you're decluttering with somebody, and I'm thinking of Laura GV with her husband and me with my husband, is that we don't go so long that we start like picking at each other, okay? So using a timer, get to know the timer on your phone. I picked this up, frankly, from my sister who has ADHD, and she uses it all the time. Time for timer, carefully poke the toothpicks and wagon wheels and all that kind of stuff, right? So think about this. Think about a destination. We are here, and it's 10:57 a.m. Eastern on Monday, January 26th. Notice I'm practicing. In an hour, where would you like to be? What would you like to be? Say to yourself, I got done. What would you like to accomplish just within this 1 hour between now and when we show up for the YouTube channel? Okay? As I said, I've already written down a few things. Going outside, eating a healthy lunch. Now, obviously, it may not be obvious to you, but going outside will require a few more things. It would require me to put on some outdoor clothing. Will I take a shower? Nah. Will I put on some underpants and some, yoga pants as opposed to my pajamas? Yes. Will I bundle up? Yes. How long am I going to walk out there for? It depends on how long it takes me to get ready. What am I going to eat for a healthy lunch? I don't know. I'll see what we have. What constitutes as healthy? Not a lot of questions, but these are the things that go through. Make things easy for you, okay? Make things easy for you, all right? Now, I love it. Set alarms for the next day is on my daily habit tracker. I love it, Sue. That is a wonderful idea. The neat thing is, too, at least with the timer on my phone, you can actually put a little note in it, that says, like, timer goes off, like, go buy tickets to Casa Bonita, or call my mother, that type of thing. There we go. So Nat says folding laundry, finishing some work on some computer, and wiping down the kitchen. Okay. So out of those three, Nat, I will just offer to you, there's one of them that you can do that requires your full focus, and there's two of them that you can kind of have one eye on your phone and one eye on the project, okay? I would highly recommend, and again, notice I'm just recommending. Nobody has to do a damn thing I say. But notice, Nat, in the time where you have it with just you and yourself, the finishing the work on the computer will require your full focus. If you get that done, even if it takes longer than you think, you can still fold laundry and hang out on the at the TikTok or the YouTube live. You can still wipe down the kitchen and hang out on the YouTube live. Leslie is going to be writing down, I need to go to the bathroom in a minute, as do I. So notice the things that you can multitask on and no quality is lost. And notice where there are certain things where you need to quiet down, calm down, sit down, shut the door, and do the thing that only you can do and focus on it, okay? So, yay for today's YouTube Live or TikTok Live, where the hell we are, being a little bit less wonky than yesterday. Is it back to where it was pre-last year? Because last year at this time, when I was over in France and things went down, we weren't on TikTok for the longest time, okay? It's better than it was yesterday, and it seems to have worked out, even though the whole thing is unstable. That's why we're going to play around with how do we feel about hanging out on YouTube. It's good to have an alternative, okay? And right now, I will highly recommend that you sign off along with me, set a timer for 55 minutes from now. When your timer goes off, remind yourself to go to Destination Decluttered on YouTube, and we'll all hang out then, okay? And then we'll have stories to tell about what we did in this past hour. Sound like fun? I think so. And if it sounds like fun, let's do it, all right? Bye.